You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR 680. And today, the Giants finally get back in the win column after shutting down the Rockies 5-0 at Coors Field. Kyle Harrison tossed a career-high 7 innings of shutout ball in this gem of a performance, and the offense managed to put up a crooked number in the 4th inning, but the Giants aren't anywhere close to being out of the woods just yet. They got a long way to go on the road back to being competitive in this National League West, and we will break it all down. But first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate it. And make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Today, the Giants, Kyle Harrison looked locked in, man. From the jump, he looked locked in this one. He's been pretty good lately. I mean, he picked up the only win of this road trip so far for the Giants, and they've needed a stopper, and Kyle Harrison provided just that with the 7 innings of shutout ball, only 4 hits, only gave up 2 walks. He did only post 2 strikeouts, but that's fine because he found his way to be efficient on the mound today. Then that's been the biggest thing that he has failed to overcome so far in this season was efficiency. 86 pitches, 7 innings. That's excellent work on the mound for Kyle Harrison. And let's break it down. I mean, he was doing a lot of work out there on the mound with the fly ball and with the ground outs as usual. I mean, he got 6 fly outs. That's what we would expect from Harrison. He's a fly ball pitcher, but the 11 ground outs is something that Harrison doesn't normally produce at that rate. That was interesting to see. I mean, I kind of figured it was going to be a roll of the dice with Harrison on the hill at his first career start in Coors Field, a place where the ball just flies off the bat. And for a fly ball pitcher, that can be a bit of a problem in that thin Rocky Mountain air. So I was interested to see how Kyle Harrison would perform in his first showing at Coors Field of his career. And he was excellent, a career best 7 innings pitched. He looked great. He didn't have the strikeout stuff today, but he didn't need it. He was pitching to contact, getting outs, using his ability as a pitcher, not a thrower, which we talk about a lot on this podcast. He looked really good today. I was very impressed. And another big difference in this performance for the Giants, another reason they were able to get the shutout, the defense showed up again. The defense that's been playing like last year's team through this whole road trip has finally returned to the Giants. You saw the Jung-Hoo Lee crazy catch at the wall where he leaped and ran into the wall hit his back against it and made the play. You saw Tyro going to his right over the middle of the field, right behind second base a couple of times in this one, fielding the ball to his right, making the jump throw, spin back to his left, and getting the runner at first 2 times in this one game. Very Jeter-esque type play. And Tyro, the former Yankee, I mean, he had plenty of opportunities to see Jeter making those plays when he was younger. I mean, this is great to see the Giants finally turn around and get one. I know it's the Rockies. Before you guys all jump down my throat, I know it's the Rockies. I know the Rockies are 8-27 this year. But the Giants are down bad, man. They got to take wins where they can get them. I don't care what team you're beating, as long as it counts as a W in the win column. You play who is in front of you. In the Giants, they're on their way back to maybe putting some wins together. They got a couple more opportunities in Coors against a really bad Rockies team. And man, this is really a pivot point in this season. If they lose this series to the Rockies, you got to take a hard look in the mirror and you got to start seriously thinking about making some major moves on this team, changing the roster construction of the batting lineup. Like you got to start talking about anything and everything you can do to improve the team going forward if they lose this series to the Rockies. The win tonight helps. The win tonight really helps. If they can get one more win tomorrow or the next day, I mean, I'd really like to see a series sweep in Colorado. But if they can get at least 2 of these 3 games against the Rockies, that's going to go a long way to building the Giants' confidence back. This is a team that has not been able to hit, and this is a field that is very hitter friendly. Again, the Giants put up 5 runs today. They have failed to put up 5 runs in a game for, I mean, I don't know how long now. It has been forever, seemingly, since the Giants have been able to score 5 runs in a game. It put the end to an 11-game streak, which with 4 runs or fewer. And when the Giants do score 5 runs or more in a game, they are undefeated. They're now 9-0 when scoring 5 runs or more in a game. One of the only teams in baseball, there's only 2 other teams in baseball that are undefeated when they score 5 or more runs. And that's a testament to 2 things. One, the Giants pitching staff. They're electric. If you give them 5 runs of support, they will win way more often than they won't. And the other thing that's a testament to is that the Giants offense is really bad. That the Giants offense flat out sucks, because if you score 5 runs so infrequently that you can manage to stay undefeated when scoring 5 or more runs, that means that you're not doing that very often. So that both of those things are, one of those things is I guess a good thing. And the other thing's kind of concerning, because it just is indicative that the Giants can't hit it. It really is telling of where this team has been all season long. A team that is great on the mound, has a bullpen that's starting to come together after a rough start in the beginning of the season, but a team that cannot find its identity at the plate. And to go through what we saw in this one earlier, the 4th inning, when the Giants finally were able to put a crooked number up on that scoreboard. I mean, the 4 runs in the 1 inning is like more runs than the Giants have had. As I said, they have struggled to score more than 4 runs in 11 consecutive games. They do it all in 1 inning. And it was not on the back of like hard hit balls, extra base hits, home runs, none of it. It was a Nick Ahmed single on a ground ball to third base that was a whopping 82.7 miles an hour off the bat and traveled a whole 2 feet. So you had that like swinging bunt, and then you had a Jung-Hoo Lee swinging bunt down the third baseline, which traveled a whole 4 feet at 36 miles an hour. And Tyro comes up and grounds out to the second baseman to score another run. So we had 3 ground balls and 2 runs scored. 2 runs scored because of it. Tyro's ground ball was 78 miles an hour. So it's not like the Giants were tearing the cover off the ball. They did this on the backs of a Blake Sable single and a Matt Chapman walk before they were able to plate some runs by playing small ball. And they weren't done there, though, because with runners still in scoring position, Lamont Wade Jr. comes up with a big clutch hit to plate some runs. Couple runs score on a Lamont Wade Jr. single, and he has been hands down the Giants' best offensive weapon so far. I mean, Pat Bailey has been pretty damn good too, but Lamont Wade Jr., man, batting .351, OPS of .927. This guy is doing it all for the Giants. He's batting in the 3-hole as he should be. I mean, I think honestly, right now with the way that the rest of this team is playing, 2 RBIs for Lamont Wade tonight, 3 walks and the 1 hit. He was on base 4 times. I mean, he did have 1 K, but that's fine, man. Lamont Wade Jr. is the only guy on this team who's kind of keeping the batting order going. He's having great at bats. He's seeing pitches really well. He's having such deep, long at bats, which we've become accustomed to in San Francisco. Lamont Wade Jr. been doing this, man. He's got one of the best eyes in baseball, and he's never a guy to swing at a pitch early in the count unless it is a pitch worth swinging at. And I love that about Lamont Wade Jr. He has such great plate discipline. You can learn a lot from watching this guy go to work in the batter's box. The way that his approach is rock solid. I was listening to the KMBR broadcast a little bit tonight, listening to FP Santangelo Jr., who was talking about how still Lamont Wade Jr. keeps his head when he's in that batter's box and how there's such little movement, and that allows him to track the ball so much better as it comes out of the pitcher's hand, allows him to pick up on the rotation of those seams and make a decision in an instant of whether or not that's a ball or a strike immediately after it leaves the pitcher's hand. Lamont Wade Jr. keeping the carousel moving for the Giants, plates 2 more runs with that 2-out single, gives the Giants a 4-0 lead. And Kyle Harrison did the rest from there, man. The Giants did put another run on the board in the top of the 7th inning, but that was just insurance at that point. They did not need it because Kyle Harrison did the rest. And then because the Giants bullpen has not had, a whole lot of high leverage moments to work with lately, the Giants used this opportunity to get Camilo Doval some reps out there, to get Ryan Walker back on the hill. Ryan Walker looks so good, man. This guy, his sweeping slider, like that sweeper, is just nasty. The way the crossbody delivery, oh man, the velocity that it's coming at you with, the amount of movement, I don't know how you even hit that pitch. And then you get to Camilo Doval, who, walked a couple guys, but we've seen this from Camilo. Like last season, he was pitching a lot, and he was on when he was being used all the time, when he's loose and ready to go, and the arm is getting frequent work, he stays ready. But when he sits for a week or two at a time, a week and a half, because there's no opportunity for him to come into the game to pitch in a save opportunity, then he kind of gets a little rusty. It takes him some time to knock that rust off. You saw the walks today. That wasn't ideal, but Camilo Doval is Camilo Doval, ends the game with a strikeout, and the Giants go home happy, finally. And I don't know if the Giants players are happy is what I'm talking about. I don't know if Giants fans are super happy. I mean, I think that you're as happy as you can be after a win on a road trip that has been bleak at best. I mean, this is their second win of the road trip, the first one coming in Boston, 4-game sweep in Philadelphia. You lose 2 of 3 to the Red Sox. You lose 4 in a row to the Phillies. I don't think the one win against the 8-27 Colorado Rockies just mends all wounds at this point for Giants fans. As I said at the top of the show, it's a long way to get back to the Giants have a long road ahead of them to get back to being competitive in the NL West. And it starts with a game like this. I mean, they scored runs. They didn't hit the ball particularly well, but they hit the ball, man. They got 10 hits in this one. A lot of those were like little weak dribbler hits, but I mean, hey, a win's a win, a hit's a hit. Looks the same in the box score. It doesn't matter if it traveled 3 feet or 300 feet. A hit is a hit, and a run's a run, and a win's a win. It doesn't matter if it's against the 8-27 Colorado Rockies. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. We got some more to break down from tonight's game. Kyle Harrison, what a day, conquering Coors Field, a big 4th inning for the Giants in the Get Right series on this road trip that is really a pivotal point for this Giants season. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. We will be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Spring training is over and baseball season is finally underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your PrizePicks entries. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less and add them to your PrizePicks entry today. PrizePicks has something for every sports fan. From baseball and basketball to League of Legends and everything in between, you can pick LeBron James, Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, and Jude Bellingham. Oh, wait, no, you can't, because LeBron James got bounced by the Denver Nuggets, who look like they're going to get bounced by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Edwards is going bonkers, man. You guys seeing this? Because, oh my God, this guy's turning into Kobe before our eyes. Anyways, you can pick, Ant Edwards, Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, and Jude Bellingham all in the same entry. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. $100. Again, download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. It's PrizePicks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And today's show is also sponsored by Monopoly Go. All right, timeout. We got to pause here to talk about Monopoly Go. I know what you're saying. Flag on the play. You already talked about that, but there is just so much good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for timed tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there's so much to get. Unique stickers you can trade with a friend to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robot pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR 680. And today, the Giants finally get a win on the road on this road trip. I know they already got one in Boston, but man, it feels like it has been 100 years since the Giants got their last win. That Phillies series seemed like it was never ending. The 4-game wraparound of a sweep series, that's rough. That is some rough business. And by the way, the Phillies 10-1 win over the Blue Jays tonight. That team is wow, man. As I said during that one of the shows in that series, after one of those damn losses, they all kind of like ran together in my brain. That's my pick for the World Series, the Phillies. I go to FanDuel and put some money on the Phillies right now, because I swear that team looks so good, man. And I don't see any reason why they are going to fall off at all. A tough division, but I like the Phillies a lot as your World Series winner for 2024. And I just want to point out that last year I said the same thing about the Rangers at about the same time of the year. So take that for what it's worth. But anyways, I digress. The Giants improved to 16-21, pick up their 7th road win of the season. It has been tough, man. It's been really tough. But one thing that has remained consistent is that when the Giants win, it is on the strength of their pitching. And that's been evident all season long. I don't need to tell you guys that. You don't need to look too hard at this team to figure that out. The Giants starters, when they log at least 6 innings well, I can't talk. When they log at least 6 innings on the mound, they win. They're 12-4 when the starter pitches 6 innings. And today, Harrison pitches 6+ innings. Giants get another win now, 13-4 when the starting pitcher lasts at least 6 innings. And Harrison, he looked pretty good last time out. He did have 5 walks, but he struck out 7 batters in 5 innings. And that was the one victory that the Giants had on this road trip against Boston, 3-1 on getaway day before they headed out to Philadelphia. And he allowed 1 run on 3 hits and threw a season high 95 pitches. So he was far more efficient today. 95 pitches to get through 5 innings his last time out. And that was still a good outing. I mean, the 5 walks was a little concerning, but the 7 strikeouts were nice. But again, not very efficient. 95 pitches to get through all of that. And the 5 walks were a lot. That was, he had walked, I think, a total of 5 batters coming into that series or that start, and then he matched his season total in one outing. So Kyle Harrison, I mean, he righted the wrongs that he had, which were minimal in his last outing, and he got even better in this outing. Let me tell you, man, for him to go into Coors Field, a house of horrors for the Giants over the years, and to do what he did, 7 innings, shutting down. I mean, I know this is the Colorado Rockies offense. It's not like he went down and shut down the Dodgers in Coors Field, but still, it is Coors Field. Those are still professional baseball players. Every single one of those guys is there for a reason, and it's impressive for Kyle Harrison to be able to go out in his first ever outing at Coors Field and shut down his opponent the way that he did, as efficiently as he was. I mean, he looks really good out there on the hill, and the Giants needed it. They have Jordan Hicks going tomorrow, and hopefully they get more of the same from him, because they need to start stringing some wins together in a big way. And now the Giants have been at least pretty good at Coors Field in recent years. Since 2021, they're 18-8 versus the Rockies at Coors Field, and over that stretch they have a plus 51 run differential. So that all sounds pretty good, right? But last year, if you guys remember, the Giants lost 3 of 4 games during their last time in Colorado prior to this series, and they lost 3 of 4 in the middle of September as the Giants were trying to figure out if they wanted to make a playoff push or not. And it was kind of that series in Colorado, that series in Chicago, if you guys remember that one as well last year. And the Giants, around that time, kind of just decided we don't really want to be in the competition for the playoffs. We don't really want to go to that wild card game. Someone else can do that. It's not for us this year. So, Gabe Kapler decided he wanted to take his talents to South Beach and Miami, and we all know how last season ended for the Giants. But point being, Coors Field, although the Giants have been pretty good there over the last couple of years, the last time that they were out there, things did not go so well. So you can't, rest on your laurels after this one win at Coors. You gotta start stringing some wins together. And it would be great to have another one tomorrow with Jordan Hicks on the hill. Hicks has pitched really well lately. He did not have a great outing his last time out. And I mean, going to Coors Field, again, no easy task. Not exactly where you want to try and get right on the mound, but that's what's going to need to happen for the Giants, because I don't know if it's been how long since the Giants were able to scratch across 5 runs in a game prior to this? It was an 11-game streak of 4 runs or less for the Giants prior to tonight. Let's not make it another 11 games starting tomorrow. Let's go out there and get Jordan Hicks some run support. There's going to be some things that need to happen for the Giants to actually put some runs on the board for Jordan Hicks. And some of those things is Matt Chapman maybe running into a ball and getting a hit, or I just don't even know what to do with some of these free agents anymore, man. We got to talk about the Giants offense on the other side, or should I say lack of offense tonight. Yes, 5 runs. You love to see that. The 4-run 4th inning. Excellent work. A lot of luck in that, though. Let's break it all down on the other side on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. Moms are a gift, so give her the best this Mother's Day. Get gifts as thoughtful as she is with DoorDash. Select from hundreds of expertly crafted bouquets to the best of tech to self-care essentials and more, delivered right to her door. Pair flowers with a gift card so she can celebrate any way she wants. Is she a bookworm? Try a bookstore gift card. Does she love a good latte? Get a gift card to her favorite coffee shop. You can't go wrong. Get thoughtful gifts she deserves with the convenience you need. Choose same-day delivery same-day delivery or schedule a week ahead for when flowers and gifts should arrive to her door with DoorDash. Shop with savings that would make her proud with the Dash Pass membership. You'll save with a $0 delivery fee and reduced service fees on eligible orders from Dash Pass merchants that meet the minimum subtotal. Other fees, including service fees, apply. Terms apply. Get all your Mother's Day gifts all in one place and get 50% off your next order, up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower, convenience, grocery, or retail order now with code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB. Order using DoorDash today. Terms apply. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants finally get back in the win column. They're going to need to try and pick up another win tomorrow over the Rockies to, try and salvage anything you can from this road trip. The Giants just 16-21 this season. They coming into tonight, they were a season high 6 games under 500. That is not where you want to be as we are getting now into the second week in May, and the Giants are still looking average. And that's being nice. That's being real nice, because their offense is not looking very average. It's looking pretty damn below average right now. And that's a lot to do with, as we continue to talk about, the lack of production from Matt Chapman, Jorge Soler, all these guys that you've been hoping would turn it on eventually after the Giants brought him in this offseason. The one bright spot, Jung-Hoo Lee, his first career 3-hit game. I anticipate there will be plenty more of those throughout his career before he is all wrapped up with his playing days. And he scored a run. He did strike out once, but that batting average back up to 264. That OPS slowly climbing back up as well, now up to 643. Jung-Hoo Lee is everything and then some that the Giants thought that they were going to get as a free agent addition. Let's all keep in mind, this guy's a rookie. Like, this guy is still learning how to play in Major League Baseball. He's still seeing a lot of Major League pitching for the first time. Every yard that the Giants go to on their first road trip of the year, for instance, is first time playing in Coors Field. He's got to learn a whole new outfield. He's got 30 new ballparks to learn. He's got so many things that he's trying to adapt to in his new environment. And for him to be playing how he's been playing, I think that's just speaks volumes about him as a player and as a person, to be able to lock in that way in a new situation, in a new environment. This guy is nails, man. Like, he is such a good addition for the Giants, but for every bit as good as he has been, Matt Chapman and Jorge Soler have been absolutely terrible. And today, Wilmer Flores, also worth noting, 0 for 5. That's not good. And so the Giants just cannot find how to get production from their DH spot. And I know everybody is clamoring for the young guys to come up from the farm. Marco Luciano is, the name that every single person is throwing out right now. And I want to tell you guys all, I want to see Marco just as bad as everybody else. But you know what's going to happen if you take a guy who is not, this guy is not fully confident, ready to come up to the big leagues and face big league pitching just yet. He is a guy who is very streaky, and you don't want him to come up when he's not you want him on a heater when he comes up, so that he comes into the bigs with confidence. You want him seeing the ball well when he gets here. You don't want to bring a guy up like that, who's expected to be kind of like a cornerstone of this franchise going forward, and has, he knows the pressure that he's got on him. He's had this pressure on him since he got to the Giants organization, and everybody knows what is expected of him once he gets here. You want that guy on a tear before he comes up. You don't want him coming up to the big leagues searching for his feel at the plate. That is the last thing you want to do to a guy that you think is going to be a cornerstone of your franchise going forward. You do not want to mess up this guy's mental set in his first big league appearances. Baseball players are all like basket cases. I don't know if you guys realize this, but like, if you screw up a guy's mind, his brain, his mindset when he's making his MLB debut, that could ruin his entire career. The last thing I want from Marco Luciano is for the Giants to rush him up here in a bad situation and have him underperform, because there's so much pressure and he is in such a bad situation that it breaks him as a player, as a prospect, and the Giants never see what we think he could actually be, which is, as I've said, a cornerstone player for this franchise. We do not want to waste the talents of a Marco Luciano on plugging a hole for a 16-21 team. That is not what I have been waiting for Marco Luciano for. And if that's what you guys have been waiting for, then I don't know what to tell you. Have some higher expectations for these San Francisco Giants, because you should. This is a team that has proven to us they know how to build a dynasty. They know how to build and develop prospects. Maybe not on the offensive side of the ball, the position player side of the ball, but Buster, we got to point that out. And I know that all of the homegrown prospects from the World Series era was mostly pitching, but guess what? So is this era's team right now. If the Giants can figure out how to just bide some time until Luciano is ready, it will do wonders for him in his career and for the Giants in turn, as he is going to help this team immensely once he finally does come up, when he is ready to do so. In the meantime, this Giants offense, is beleaguered, man. Like, they are so bad. They look like they're lost in the woods. Today, those 4 runs that they scored in the top of the 4th were incredibly lucky. As we talked about earlier in the show, 3 ground balls results in 2 runs. I mean, you had 1 single, and that's it. Before those 2 runs, you had 1 single, 3 ground balls. 2 of them ended up being infield base hits and a walk. And that's how you scored those 2 runs. If it wasn't for Lamont Wade Jr.'s 2-out single, that would have been this would have felt different. This would have been like the Giants eked out a win just barely. But because we got that crooked number of a 4 in that 4th inning, it feels better. But they are, I mean, razor thin. They are walking this line of, I mean, of disaster, really. I mean, one side is disaster and the other side is a win. And the Giants are just straddling this line as they're, I mean, everything rides on these clutch moments. And the Giants, if they don't come up in them, they don't win. They don't score today. 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position, but they did leave 9 runners on base. But hey, I'll take 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position any day of the week from this Giants team, especially this season. The Giants take on the Rockies again tomorrow. And as my guy Nate in the chat says, I mean, they're going to need a big win from Jordan Hicks. And I believe in Jordan Hicks tomorrow too. Jordan Hicks Day is win day for the Giants. He has been electric this year. The reliever turned starter, that arm side run on the 2-seamer, the splitter that he's developed. I mean, this guy is electric and has become, honestly, if I have to pick one Giant starter that I want to sit and watch pitch a game right now, it's Jordan Hicks, man. That guy is so fun to watch. The 100-mile-an-hour heater when he wants it. He is, I mean, just electric on the hill. We'll see if he can pull out a win tomorrow for the Giants, as they really need some wins, man. 16 and 21 after the win today. They'll take on the Colorado Rockies again in game 2 of this 3-game set at Coors Field. The Rockies 8-27 after the loss. We'll come to you live tomorrow after the game, as always, on the Locked On Giants postcast. And thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully you tune in tomorrow. We appreciate you guys. We do this every day for you. Without you, there is no show. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Peace.